It's about 4:25 in the afternoon local time as we head into round 5, heat number 2. Adriano de Souza, world champ from Brazil. Brazil's about 3:30 in the morning, but when you win world titles, nobody sleeps.
You know, round 4, he wanted to go straight through the quarterfinals, and he finds himself up against a kid that's really proved himself, and I'm super impressed with this kid surfing. He's solid on his feet. Let's have a look at de Souza. Draws first blood. Are we surprised? Not at all. This is exactly what he likes to do. He likes to get out of the blocks quickly. See that tide starting to bottom out, so we're going to start seeing the waves hit that little bank and offer these guys a lot more vertical face on that occasion. De Souza picking the wrong one. Right behind him, Connor on a good looking wave. Jams it up through the lip. Really solid surfer, this kid. Really powerful. I haven't really seen him go to the air too much, which is kind of a good thing because that means he's got something left in the tank. He's got the world champion though, so he's going to keep the board in the water and just put a couple of good scores on the board and try and apply some pressure. De Souza traditionally has trouble with guys like Connor, all these wild cards or rookies. They tend to upset the champ, so Connor off to a good start.
Looks really fired up. Connor Coffin showcasing that right-hand point break skill set with those power carves. And it's kind of interesting you mentioned haven't seen a lot of the air game, and Potsy's kind of always been that way as well as a Grom. There's all these kids in his generation.
It'll never go out of style. I mean, from back in the 70s all the way through to today, that's the basis of good surfing.
So impressive to see Connor come on and just showcase that power hook and to take the lead on the opening exchange over the world champ. It's an 8-point ride for the Californian. 4-5 start for the world champ. De Souza out the back with priority, and we'll see how he can take control of this next exchange. Connor had a couple of big carves in the first heat where he didn't make it through, but since then he's been looking really solid and finding more confidence along the way.
Absolutely right. That 8-point ride is going to definitely give him a lot of confidence. De Souza, here we go. Can he answer back?
De Souza now setting this one up casual as he waits for a first turn. He'll just step off. So now priority back to Connor Coffin here, and Coffin still has the lead. So an impressive start for Coffin, and we'll see how he's going to control this heat. As he's keeping an eye on this lineup, De Souza always feels free to roam under priority as he's already on a wave. Driving hard into the air, goes for the nose pick, but he's down.
Wow. Well, you know, even the champs have a hard time sometimes, and that's the thing with our sport, Joan. There's no guarantees, man. And you know, when you see someone dominate the sport of surfing for a period of time,
and functional surfing.
Really looking forward to seeing this next exchange, and we still have Bede listening in as he's down the beach watching this one. Set up for last year's world champion. De Souza under priority of Connor. Gets a big first turn. Another vertical snap. He'll recover into a third maneuver off the lip. So 3 big forehand snaps. And now he'll wait for this inside track. Wrapping cutback, and Connor's getting started. Just trading forehand hooks. Off the lip for De Souza. Connor's going to get out of there, and De Souza falls on the finishing move.
Wow. Yeah, De Souza almost fell at the beginning of that wave as well. A little bit off balance, you know, maybe trying a little bit too hard. Connor, well, I didn't really see the beginning of his wave, so I'm sure we get back to that replay. Connor needing to just try and keep applying the pressure. That's his mission right now. Is every time he takes off on a wave, just keep improving his situation. He's going to get his 2-wave total now. And no matter what that score is, he's got to then better it every single time he takes off. Beautiful opening turn there from Connor as he drives off the bottom. I love that power, that big wraparound cutty. You can see him stomping on that tail pad, just waiting for this wave to build up. Didn't have a lot of vertical face, so a lot of transition turns there. This is not going to be a huge score for Connor. And De Souza is going to answer back somewhat, but still a few mistakes on this wave. Watch this second maneuver here as he draws off the bottom. Straight up through the lip, almost fell right there, a little bit off balance, but cat-like reflexes from De Souza, tags it again, so 3 solid moves, 2.5 solid moves I would say, and then brings it through the inside. He's looking for that wave to stand up, he's looking for more on the inside. De Souza never gives up on a wave, and he's going to milk it right through to the bitter end. Waiting for this last turn here, and then falls, so took his eye off the prize, thought he had that one nailed, and a big mistake right there from De Souza.
So De Souza falling on the finishing move, a rare sight there. At the moment, he was looking for a 3-5-1. to get the lead off Connor. Connor had the single score of an 8, but he'll have that second scoring ride factor in. He'll need a little more than that. De Souza wearing yellow because he is on top of the Jeep leaderboard. 2 big wins last season. One at Margaret River over John Florence, and one at the Pipe Masters over Gabriel Medina. Medina taking the Triple Crown, some of the biggest honors of the sport. And we'll see if De Souza is about to take the lead here. Judges thinking about that last wave. It'll definitely be his best so far, Potts.
Yeah, definitely. You know, even with a little bit of a mistake, you know, midway through the wave and then towards the end, he still did a lot of damage. So scores dropping for De Souza, a 7.33. Right there, almost lost it. But as I said, just an amazing recovery ability from De Souza to go straight into that next turn. A little bit of downtime right there, just readjusting, getting those feet back in the right place, looking for that sweet spot, and now it starts to open up again. So this wave started to give him a little bit more all the way through the inside, and then made a bit of a mistake right there. That was huge. That could have gone up into the excellent range had De Souza finished that. We always talk about how important the finishing maneuver is, which I just want to see you in complete control, Joe.
Well, interesting looking at that wave. De Souza taking off without priority when Connor had it. And then we see Connor's wave fall short, and it'll end up being in the 3-point range. Looks like keeping the ball rolling is Adriano De Souza. He wants to just keep catching waves. He's got some speed. Flows from behind the section. Goes up vertical. Now he's starting to really heat up. Forehand wrap. Now jamming down the line. Looking for something major. Big down snap, and he's going to go vertical again. Managing his speed well. He'll wrap the inside corner, and maybe another move he could fit in. Straight up vertical. De Souza adjusting from failing to take the lead at the start, getting his numbers under priority of Connor. A 7.33 and a solid effort there, Potts.
Yeah, and we talk about how quick he gets back up on the horse. You know, a couple of little mistakes in the beginning of the heat there, a couple of wipeouts, but, you know, he's correcting that. He's just constantly bettering his situation. The 4.50 is his second highest score right now. So his mission right now is just to keep plucking away, keep catching waves, and that's the thing that De Souza does. He literally surfs himself back into rhythm, and that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Well, watching these waves run through, Bede's watching closely. Bede, is Connor letting waves go that he should be on as we take a look at this replay?
Yeah, he's let Adriano get back in this heat and take control of it. Now Connor's going to be looking for the score. And yeah, it's hard, you know. Like when you open with an 8, you start looking for really good waves, and he let these 2 waves go underneath him, and he's going to pay for it. But we'll see how he bounces back.
Yeah, how quick does De Souza really rectify, you know, mistakes? Obviously, starting the heat with a couple of mistakes, but now sort of literally surfing himself back into rhythm, Bede.
Yeah, he's such a fighter in everything, you know, in his life to get where he's at now to achieve that world title. So, yeah, he never goes down without a fight, and he'll, even if he's comboed, he'll still fight to the last second.
It was the best out of 3, so each round you had to beat the guy at least twice, which was kind of amazing.
Looking at De Souza, he's paddling hard for this wave, and he will take another one. Snap off the top. Little carve in the pocket, looking to better a 6.33. Big top turn wrap again. The world champ has got an inside track that keeps on giving. Wraps it one more time. Just a similar move on every section, just keeping that rail in the water. Big snap off the lip. He's got the pace. Nice and vertical to finish. And he's loving the way that wave felt.
I'll tell you what, sometimes you can put a little bit too much emphasis on priority. Once you've got it, it's almost like you think you've got to sit and wait for those really good ones. The snapper rocks, well, De Souza surfed himself back into rhythm. He's you know, looking to better a 6.33. I'm not sure whether that's going to better a 6.3. It's going to be close though, but he's, you know, just De Souza just keeps plucking away, and the longer Connor sits, the more the pressure builds. So just throw that priority away, mate. Get rid of it. Catch a wave. I mean, he only needs a 5.66, but really he's looking for something in that 7-point range. Let's have a look at this wave from De Souza. Just smooth, clean, mistake-free surfing. That's what this guy does. That's his forte. You can see him just building up, waiting for something special to happen. Just clean, smooth surfing. Nothing too radical. You know, at this point in time, he's got the heat lead. He's just trying to better his situation every time he catches a wave. De Souza finishes off with a nice vertical turn, and that trademark fist pump there that we've seen oh so many times from De Souza.
So a solid effort for Adriano, just weaving under priority of Connor Coffin. Heard from Kolohe Dino earlier when he had that heat with Nat Young, and he said he got a couple fives. He likes a warm up, and then he rolls into waves and gets better and better.
Yeah.
There's certain guys that just love to stay active in heat. Seabass, a similar kind of competitor as well. And you look at some guys that can just wait for 2 waves, that they just rely on the ocean and picking the best sets, but they also can't make any mistakes. 1:30 on the clock after waiting a long time with priority is Connor Coffin. He'll get a snap to start. Big roundhouse cutback. He wants this thing to grow. Full wrap again, and keeps that rail in the water. His focus looking sharp. Clean decisions with his rail work. He just needs this thing to grow on the inside, and it's just trimming down. So he'll just keep working it through as he's committed to wait for this wave. Lost count of these turns, but he'll just put this thing to bed on the inside, showing how sharp that he still is after that long wait. Now down to the final minute.
Well, De Souza dropped to 6.43, so it pushed that total out just a little bit. 5.76, right? That's required. He kind of waited about, what, 15 plus minutes for that wave. So, you know, you could tell he was a little nervous at the beginning. He knew he'd put all his eggs in one basket. Didn't want to make any mistakes on that. 5.76, Joe. It wasn't one of those growers. It didn't give him that dynamic finish. That's the only negative that I'm seeing right now.
What's interesting with priority, Connor held priority for 85% of this matchup, while De Souza kind of ran underneath as we take a look at the replay.
Yeah, I mean, nice smooth surfing, nothing too radical, but it's a mid-range score that's required. So Connor just moving that board rail to rail, trying to build points. You can see him waiting for it to stand up. Give me something to hit. This heat is winding down. Scores dropping through for Connor and Joe.
Scores coming through, a 4.77 from the panel for Connor. Adriano up on one last wave from deep. De Souza's decision to get underway without priority really helped him heat up. His high score is 7.33, and he's still got a lot of energy to burn. Always thriving off passion. He's never been afraid to show it for the fans on the beach, and he'll give that one for Brazil. A full rotation punt as he's on his way into the quarterfinals.
Well, that was a working man's win right there. You talk about heart, you talk about fight, you talk about this kid never, ever gives up. He was behind the 8-ball for quite a bit of time during that heat. Kind of played the patient game. You know, inconsistency beat Connor Coffin. But then De Souza just kept plucking away. 7.33, 6.43. That's the champ right there.